Back at it. I guess Brian's the star. When he was sharing about his thing, it made me think of that when I was in high school, they would serve this little meat patty, and it had this gravy on it and these big yeast rolls, and we made a joke about it. We loved the mystery meat and gravy, and I really loved it. But I'm not quite sure I would eat it today. And it reminds me of something somebody said in a movie. They say the things that people do, they don't do it because they like it. They do it because they don't know the difference. And see, I didn't know the difference. And when I think about the 10th step, why do I do the things I do when I get here? It's not because I like it, but I don't know any better because I don't know the difference. And what the 10th step is asking me to do is learn the difference. See, it's asking me to do some things differently that's going to be uncomfortable at first. Another reading that we have talks about, do we really want to be rid of this selfishness, dishonest, and self-seeking motives? He said, because we get sick pleasure out of familiar pain. Said it's hard to let go of the familiar and step out into the unknown. So sometimes it's easier to just keep doing what I'm doing, because otherwise I'm having to step out on faith, let go of old coping mechanisms, and abandon something I know works, even though I don't know it doesn't work that well, but I don't know the difference. And they're asking me to try some new things. And the 10th step and 11th step is me trying to do things the opposite of what I was doing. If I have fear, I pray to God to give me courage. If I'm dishonest, I practice being honest. If I'm selfish, obviously I make the best effort I can to do something for somebody else, or at least think of somebody else. It's like that coffee pot in there. If it's black coffee and I slowly put clear water in it, which is what the 10th step is asking us to do, is put pure actions into my dark past. If I continue to put clear water into that pot of coffee, it will become less black, and eventually, I don't know how long it would take. I'm still here. I'm not totally fixed yet. But I'm saying that eventually it would become clearer, wouldn't it? By default. So it's not that I'm sitting in the lotus position praying to God, remove these things. God is saying, I've given you free will. I've given you a set of instructions to teach you how to do the right thing. Now what are you going to do with your prayers? Are you going to put feet to your prayers? If faith will move mountains, are you going to bring a shovel? So God's asking me if I'm willing to do something. And for the first time, this way of life has given me the opportunity to have a say on how my future turns out. In the book, when they talk about Galileo and Columbus and agnostics, they talk about how everybody in the world told these people they were crazy. But we teach children in kindergarten that the world is round and not flat. And we teach children in kindergarten that the earth revolves around the sun, not the opposite, which is why they locked up Galileo. Those people were on the wrong side of history. And what the 10, 11, and 12s helps me to assure myself, with God's help, is that I won't be on the wrong side of my own history. And at least I'll be around to see it. So today I know the difference between mystery meat and gravy, even though I didn't then. I know the difference between living in self-will run riot, although I'm not perfect, so I don't want to go back to those way of lives and those old coping mechanisms. It's no wonder that once we work the steps that we recoil. It's because now we know the difference. You just get me off the sauce and let me sit on my fucking hands. There won't be much recoiling because I know no difference. I'm waiting on the first offer. And let me break it down for you if you're new. The first one is not free, even though somebody will approach you and say the first one's free. So I must do these things when nothing's wrong, for when that offer comes, or for when that drink is in front of me at the station that Martha was talking about, or for when that chicken wing is in my face. Because you never know what form it's going to take. But if I'm prepared, it doesn't matter, because I'm confident that I will act sanely and normally. I think isn't that what it says on that page? We react sanely and normally. You couldn't come up with all the machinations of how the disease is going to come at me. But I know if I'm properly armed with this program, it doesn't matter because I'm going to act sanely. And so far, that's been my experience. I've had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, and I'll pass.
Thank you, Mike.